I am Adrian Jordan. I'm a student at the University of Pretoria, and I'm currently studying the humanities. A lot of us know of bullying and how impacts that can have, but not everyone actually takes the time and the effort to talk about the experiences of bullying and what those effects can have. And also, more than often, I've also realized that we become very desensitized towards it and often forget that it's a very big role that still plays a factor in today's life. We haven't gotten rid of it just yet, and it does seem to be becoming a lot more worse as how the times are starting to progress, especially when it's coming to touching stuff on gender-related topics.
Hi, I'm Khumuditse Mokgotsi. I identify as a black transgender woman. My perspective is that with bullying, it's multifaceted. It's not just something that drops from the sky. It's something which people learn from others, which they just sponge, like the same way a sponge soaks in water or liquids. They just sponge it off from someone else, and they assume that since they took it from someone else, they can pass it on to another or express it to another person, you know?
Hi, my name is Joshua Kenneth Burley. I am 22 years old and I study theology at the University of Pretoria. I feel like it's such a big thing, especially in like the queer community and especially in other cultures. People just look at someone, and when they cry for help, it's almost like they're looking for attention more than they're actually trying to be themselves.
I am Giteni Nkomo. I am a final year education student and I'm from Polokwane. So as a teacher, I see this happen quite a lot where kids don't actually notice that they're bullying or being bullied. So this is a subject that is very close to my heart. So one of the examples that I would use with bullying is I had a foreign learner in my class, and because she didn't understand English very well, it was always a case of having to repeat what I said, and the other learners would either laugh at her questions because they weren't phrased grammatically correct, they would mimic her, they would mock her accent and all of those things. And that's just one of the examples that I see, and it's on a daily. It's detrimental to their education, to their mental health, to their confidence, everything, because I see this child cry and now she does not want to speak at all during the class because she's too scared of being ridiculed, she's too scared of being made fun of in the class, and so she doesn't even have friends in the class.
I am welcome Zikula. I am from Mpumalanga and I'm doing my second year in BSc Medical Science. I mean, with addressing bullying, I think it starts at home. It starts with the guardians, parents and caregivers who are raising kids. I think they need to be more loving, they need to be more patient, they need to be more kind, and not just in verbally but even physically, how they treat their kids, how they view their kids and so on. I think most kids, or actually if not all, kids take what they experience at home to the schooling environment, and if the environment back home can be changed to be a place of warmth, love and kindness, kids will have a better experience in the schools.
Okay, hi, my name is Jordan Skye. My dad is white and my mom is colored, and for the longest time I was made to feel like in the colored community I wasn't enough, and in the white community I wasn't enough. People were just always very angry at me, or always felt the need to judge me based on the fact that I'm not completely colored or I am not completely white. So they would sorry, it's just Yeah, they would tease me a lot. They would try and trip me. They would push me around. This was primary school, and it kind of stopped in high school. But primary school was where a lot of like fighting happened. People would argue with me. I was taught that I didn't speak properly. Like I was told that no, I sound uneducated because of the way I talk, and that forced me to change the way I talk, like change my accent, change who I am. I became very, very alone, very quiet. I didn't know who I could trust in primary school, who like were my true friends, or who were only there to like make fun of me even more, because a lot of the time I would come into contact with people that were very friendly towards me. You know, they would seem like they actually genuinely care about me, but then in an instant they would just switch up on me and change their entire behavior towards me. So in terms of my self-esteem, I became extremely insecure about myself, and it manifested like a lot, because as a child I was already self-conscious and very quiet and very shy already, and my mom tried to get that out of me. But then once I came to primary school and I experienced all of this around me, I just went back into my bubble. I created another layer of myself. I became very lonely. I thought of suicide, unfortunately. I didn't go through with it because I spoke to my family about it. I came like out with the fact that I was struggling, but I became very shut off from the world and shut off from people around me. I just didn't trust anyone. I became very much alone. Even in high school, till now, sometimes I still sit and I think, are the people around me actually caring about me, or are they also judging me like everyone else has?
Be a man, you know, like, why are you trying to be a woman? Why? Instead of taking time to understand or educate yourselves on what it means to be different, to be aligned with queer and not be a cisgender person. Other bullyings include, as I've said, exclusion. Exclusion is the one thing whereby you experience on multi-levels. You know, you see that people would also smile in front of you and say the most heinous things about you. You know, say that you have loose morals, or else you don't. They would say that you're quite promiscuous, and that's usually not the case. And just smear distasteful words about you.
Yeah, most of the time people would call me things like gay and feminine, and like, why don't I just change to a girl, or why don't I just man up, and things like that. But it was just a thing of, I started to seclude myself away from people. It was a thing of, I struggled to find who I was, and especially where I fit in, because it was just this thing of, do I go society's route, do I go my route, do I go religious route? Because like, all of these things play a part in your development stage, and it's just so difficult where you find yourself standing at the end.
Girls face it harder because obviously living in a patriarchal society, it doesn't help. So girls are more pressured to be this type of way, but they can't be too perfect. They need to find a specific balance. You can't be too pretty, you can't be ugly, you can't be too skinny, you can't be fat. And so all of the girls that I was interacting with as a teacher are being bullied in some form of way because they're too something, and no one is good enough.
It creates a whole subculture of toxic masculinity. Like, it's teaching males to be the type of male that a male shouldn't strive for. You shouldn't be a man that keeps everything for themselves, not having a way to share or to grow, unless it's in a very, very, very extreme circumstance. And bullying kind of adds towards that, because it's making men in all of the facets, be it straight, non-straight, living with disabilities, or seen as one of the status quo even. You're being taught not to feel now. You're being taught and forced not to empathize anymore. You're actually being taught to become cold. You're being shown and pushed to become someone that at the end of the day will have more negative effects because they can't, well not can't, but it's more because they don't know how to deal with certain types of comments or even self-reflection in some states.
For most of my schooling, I wouldn't get involved. Like if someone was being bullied, I would just turn away and just keep walking, because the thing was, I don't want to get involved because then I would be just as hurt as that person. But then as I started to grow up, I was like, someone needs to see someone who wants to fight for them. And I feel like if that's what I always wanted, and that's why I never did it, because I never had someone. But then when I saw that I could be that, almost like that beacon of hope for people, it was like a thing of, yeah, let me continue doing that.
Queer people who identify as part of the LGBTQIA plus community are big targets for bullies because they deviate from the heterosexual cisgendered norm that everyone is used to, and so this deviation is a huge bullseye on them, and everyone wants to discriminate against them because obviously they are less human than everyone else because of their identity. And so we find that school is brutal and kids are mean, so if we can take away all of these things that they can weaponize, it would be much easier to curb bullying in schools.
I think I would really encourage people to speak up, even for others, because I think when one is being bullied, you internalize that a lot, and you don't really have much strength to say, no, you can't say that to me, or no, you can't do this for me. But the people who are not experiencing that bullying usually can tell that, this type of behavior or this type of relation or communication with the person is actually really bad for the person experiencing it. So I think we should be speaking up more and calling each other out, actually, to be like, no, you're not supposed to say this, no, you're not supposed to think like that about a certain person. I think speaking up for one another will do a lot in alleviating.
I think I have so much that I need to that I'd want to say to all the people that contributed to the way things played out. But one thing I'd like to say to all of them, to people that bullied me, teased me, made fun of me, that I am stronger than that. I have become so much more lively, so much more out of my box. I have grown as a woman, as a human being. I have so much love in my heart. There's not a single bit of hatred in my heart towards myself or towards anybody else around me. I just want to spread love and joy, and that is something about me that you were never able to take away.
My message to young people is that no matter what gender you are, no matter what sexuality you are, no matter what religion you are, no matter what race you are, try and find someone who you can speak to and maybe express yourself, because if you internalize all that feeling, it's going to bottle up and it's going to cause major problems later in life. That is just one thing I can say, because you do not want to be dealing with all of these situations when you actually need to go through life, and especially when you're going through life alone, you need support system somewhere.
I am Adrian. I am a student. I am a worker. I am a brother. I have spirit.
I am a young woman. I am unique. I am eccentric, and I'm colorful. And I have spirit.
I'm Tirumohodzi. I'm confident. I am a black transgender woman. I'm a teacher and nurturer. I'm a businesswoman. I have spirit.
I am a survivor. I am unique. I am a musician. and I have spirit.
I am a feminist, I am an avid reader, I am asexual, I am a Christian, I am a woman, I have spirit.
I am resilient, I am brave, I have spirit.